get online and share their stories about how they're no longer Hebrew Israelites anymore.
Let's talk about it. I've been in this truth since I was 14, and I'm 26, soon to be 27. Now, I don't be mad at people when they say that, or feeling some type of way when people claim not to be Hebrew Israelites. 9 times out of 10, most of the time, it be people who was brought in the truth by a man who was being manipulative, or brought that woman or that man into a camp or into any type of congregation where they was being very wicked, which makes people leave the Hebrew Israelite community. And sometimes when you go through some type of trauma within Israel, it kind of blocks your judgment in a way, and it gets in your head to the point where you just like, yeah, I'm finna leave the Hebrew Israelite community. Now, I never thought that I would be a sister or a person to say this, but because I had the experience of going through this, and in my mind, I'm like, yeah, I'm finna leave the Hebrew Israelite community. Me knowing that I'm still a Hebrew Israelite, I didn't want to claim it because the negativity that come with it. And to be honest, I experienced more wickedness and more negative people in the truth than I did in the world. And sometimes that makes you not want to claim it because they negative Israelites, it's more negative Israelites than it is righteous Israelites. And that light is so freaking dark, bro, within the Hebrew Israelite community that most of us and most of y'all don't even see it. Again, I've been in the truth for 12 years, going on 13 years, and I can't not even count on my own 2 fingers, on my own 2 hands, how many times people have inboxed me for help because they joined a congregation and it was that wicked towards them. I can't count how many times brothers have told me. Now, I didn't ask these people to tell me these things, but brothers have told me that they feel like men are not being held accountable for how they're treating their wives, how they're treating their children. I had so many sisters coming to me talking about the heartbreak that they have had from the man that they are married to, and the sisters who have turned their backs on them, and how many times have they tried to reach out to elders and get help within the community from who they're married to, and it just get brushed under the rug. Or like, it's just so much wickedness going on within the Israelite community. So a lot of people is saying that they are not Hebrew Israelites, even though they are by blood, yes. But a lot of people are not trying to claim it anymore because the wickedness that's going on within the Israelite community, and nobody is holding nobody accountable, especially within the man. And one thing I have noticed is that most of the people in these camps, yes, I'm speaking about these camps mainly because this is where I'm seeing it at the most. They do this stuff for clout. They do it for attention. They do it for Hebrew Israelite fame within the community. It's never really about the Lord for them. And as long as they study the scriptures and they say that they do it for the Lord, but they don't study it to apply it to themselves. They study it so that they can be looked at as somebody who's higher up in the community, somebody you can come to. And then 9 times out of 10, these people be manipulating the scriptures, lying so it could fit their life, just like how Christians be doing. And then you have sisters who people call pick-me's who will take up for these brothers because they're in the spotlight too. They feel like they have some type of power over other sisters, and they looked at as an elder, or they looked at as a mighty sister in the truth. So no one is being held accountable for all the wickedness that's going on within Israel. 2 weeks ago, a brother just ended his wife's life. And this woman, from what I know and found out, this woman was reaching out to the elders and was reaching out to so many people for help, and nobody would help her. The main thing that these elders was telling her is that, well, that's your marriage. I don't have nothing to do with that. That's your husband. I'm going to respect your husband before I respect you. If your husband doing this or doing that, you still have to stay. That's your husband. And this man ended her life. And I say this to say, most people who stop claiming to be a Hebrew Israelite is because there was something wicked going on within wherever they was at. Wherever they was at, they experienced something that was just so off, and it had them questioning, is this even the right thing to do? Had them questioning, is being a Hebrew Israelite a real thing? because it's more wickedness going on. Again, it's more wickedness going on within the Hebrew Israelite community than it is in Christianity, than it is in freaking being a Muslim or any other religion. Even though being a Hebrew Israelite not a religion, they starting to view it as a religion, but worse. So now it's like they're trying to escape that wickedness and survive it. So that's what's really going on with this community. Again, I'm speaking on my own experience. I'm speaking on other people's experience who have communicated with me and tried to come to me for help, who I had to help. I literally had to question myself a few weeks ago, like, is being a Hebrew Israelite real? And the reason why I did that, and I'm going to be totally honest and I'm going to speak the truth. When I was in a relationship with the person that they claimed that I was married to, me and him got into a huge argument. Long story short, we was on our way to the gun range. We was on our way to the gun range. And in the midst of our argument, he started threatening to crash the car so that we both can fly out the car. Knowing that my side of the seatbelt did not work. That's a threat to end us both. Imagine being a Hebrew Israelite, but not speaking up on the wickedness that's being done in the community. You watching it and then saying that you're not a part of it. Imagine being a Hebrew Israelite and you're speaking up on things you know nothing about because you was never a witness and you don't even have any proof. Imagine being a Hebrew Israelite and you're trying to manipulate your wife, manipulate your friends. Imagine being a Hebrew Israelite and you use the word Eve to replace the B word for sisters. Imagine being a Hebrew Israelite, but you hate your neighbor because you hate yourself. Imagine being a Hebrew Israelite, chasing for clout and wanting attention, but not applying the law, statutes, and commandments to your everyday life. Imagine being a Hebrew Israelite and you have a baby as a man and you leave your wife and your child. Imagine being a Hebrew Israelite, but you're not correcting your brothers or your sisters for their wrongdoings. Imagine being a Hebrew Israelite and you're acting just like the elders in the book of Susanna that got hung. Imagine being a Hebrew Israelite and you read the scripture that says you have to hear both sides of the story and then cast a judgment. And then you decide that don't apply to you. And that's not a must. Come on, let's be for real now. Israelites got to do better because it's looking crazy out here. Y'all know 2/3 is going to get ended. And it's looking very much 2/3-ish. And I understand that scripture now. When it says 7 women should hold on to 1 man. That's not just for marriage, y'all. That's not just for marriage. Think about it. Shalom. Hold on, one more thing. Don't think that you're going to get off easy and the Lord is not going to judge you if you have seen some things and heard some things that was often wicked. Don't think you're not going to get judged, and you might not get judged by these brothers and sisters that's living on earth. But the Lord sees it, and the Lord is going to judge you. Because you had a mouth to speak up and defend, and you did not. Excuse me, I have a shirt on my head because I was just reading some scriptures. But I want to come on here and share my dream. So, anybody that knows me knows that I've been kind of struggling. And I had a dream that a voice came to me. But, I'm sorry. I don't remember the exact words that he was saying, but he was basically asking me a question. He was like, don't you know how people call on certain names or they say certain words because it's a comforter for them? And I was like, yeah. He was like, always say Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. He was like, that is your word. That is the word for you to comfort you because he is always with you and he is always watching after you. And I didn't know any scriptures that would go with that. So this one sister sent me a scripture that was basically saying like, call upon his name, and I never had no dream like this, so that was just like so shocking to me because that lets me know that he is watching over me and he always here for me when I always feel like I don't have nobody. He is there. So that was really shocking to me that I even had that dream because I never had a dream like that before. I did take a picture of the screenshot of the scriptures that the one lady was sending me, so I'm gonna show y'all. If y'all want to read it, y'all gotta pause it.
All praise to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. Double honor to the apostles and elders of GMS. Shalom to the hopefully elect out there. And this video is going to be a little bit different. It's going to be entitled The Hebrew Israelite Social Media Drama Demon. The Hebrew Israelite Social Media Drama Demon. Okay? And you got a lot of Israelites out there who got this social media and this drama demon on yourself. All right, now I put a video and I will apologize from the beginning to you brothers, anybody that watches this video, mainly to the brothers. The sisters, they probably don't care as much, but men, and I'm going to just let you in on a secret, Hebrews like men don't really want to hear women talk. We don't want to hear nothing that you got to say all that much. And this is, I'm going to be as nice as I can be. I won't say that. I'm going to be as straightforward as I can be. And I'm going to try to be nice. I'm not going to be disrespectful about what I'm saying. Because I understand that, we understand that the truth is a tough walk. We get it. We get it. But if you heed the advice, the spiritual advice that come through the scriptures, you can avoid a lot of drama. Now, this young woman here in the video, she was going on and on. And I got to apologize to you brothers out there because the video dragged on. But it was really 3 separate videos. And I put them together into one. So it went on and on for 10 minutes or so, damn near 9 minutes, 57 seconds. But I wanted you to be able to hear some of what I was hearing. I had to sit through a lot more. And I cut a lot out of it. So I just didn't want to, I want y'all to kind of hear it. So I'm going to read scriptures, of course, but I'm also going to, do a little bit of ranting. I'm going to talk some, and I'm going to just say it like this and this is not meant to say nothing messed up towards this young lady. She said she came in the truth when she was around 14. Now I think she said she was 26, somewhere around there like that. So she's still young, came into the truth young, or got the knowledge of the truth at a young age. Okay, whatever. And we've been see a lot of the stuff that she said can all be helped by closing your mouth. You people always want to talk. You women want to be heard, and the men, all of you alike. You women want to be heard, and you men want to be heard. But guess what? You didn't come into the truth to be heard. Nobody wants to hear your story. Nobody's going to sympathize with you about your problems. And really what goes on in your own house is your own business. You can cut down on a lot of drama if you keep shit to yourself. You act like keeping things to yourself is wicked. It's not wicked. You're supposed to keep things that's going on in your house between you and your husband, between you and your family. It's not our job as men of the Lord, because we busy. We teach, we preach, we do all this stuff. And this woman ain't GMS. She's not affiliated with GMS. The elders that she was talking about, obviously from some other congregation, from some other group, because she also mentioned that her and her dude was going to the gun range. We don't be doing that. We ain't got nothing to do with none of that. We ain't on social media like that. Our doors are not open doors for you to come and bring your drama from your house to ask us what you should do. We just don't do that. Okay? And everybody has problems with their relationships or whatever. Everybody go through something. But guess what? You got to handle it like adults. Another thing that I heard, that I see from what I heard, that I can decipher is you need to stay off social media. And I'm talking to this woman right here, this young lady. You're way too familiar with social media. You're way too familiar with making videos and wanting to talk and be seen, all of which we've given advice to not do. We've told you not to do it. The women that are GMS, the women that follow or have husbands that's in GMS or that follow GMS, they don't make videos. We know they probably go through their own trials and tribulations and struggles, but that's why you pray. That's why you pray. When you being too vocal and you being seen, you make yourself a target. So you sisters that follow GMS, when you listen to this woman talk, and I got a little bit soft on her because she was crying and The name of the Lord was revealed to her in a dream in the last part, which that's great. That's beautiful. And that's probably the reason why I'm approaching it with such delicacy, because I'm not a real delicate fellow. You know what I mean? I'm usually pretty more rough. But in this particular situation, I won't be as rough because I don't need to be. Okay? But you sisters out there, it ain't like we don't care about you. We love you just like when we love the brothers too. And you're not second-class citizens, but it's not our business what goes on in your houses. So we don't delve into it, and we don't, most of the brothers, they don't talk to sisters in the congregation because you belong to somebody. A lot of chaos can confusion and chaos can stop happening if you keep your eyes single. You women should be focused on the truth. You should be focused on being on the internet, telling stories, telling this, telling that. She had this whole thing where she's going into, imagine being a Hebrew Israelite and this and that. You too busy being focused on what we doing, trying to tell us what we should be doing. You doing the opposite of what you should be doing. All of the trouble that you're going through, you struggling. Why? Because the truth is tough, but you are in your own way. You're in your own way. If you just shut up, get off of social media, pay attention to the scriptures, watch the videos, take notes and study, all the other stuff will work itself out. But you can't do it because you caught up in the Hebrew Israelite social media drama. It ain't nobody else's business. And by the way, this word community, we told you people a long time ago, there's no such thing as a Hebrew Israelite community. As far as you concerned, it's just you and Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai. Hard for people to really understand it. Let me read you a scripture. And Salaki for my rambling, but it was certain stuff that I wanted to say. We'll open up with this. 2nd Esdras chapter 7, verse 1. And when I had made an end of speaking these words, there was sent unto me the angel which had been sent unto me the nights afore. And he said unto me, Up, Esdras, and hear the words that I am come to tell thee. And I said, Speak on, my God. Now this is the angel of the Lord. Then said he unto me, The sea is set in a wide place, that it might be deep and great. But put the case, the entrance were narrow and like a river. Who then could go into the sea to look upon it and to rule it? If he went not through the narrow, how could he come into the broad? There is also another thing. So the question was asked. You got to go through. It's giving you. Let me read it again. Who then could go into the sea to look upon it and to rule it? If he went not through the narrow, how could he come into the broad? Right. You got to go through. You got to go through stuff. If you're going on the way somewhere, you're going to go through a lot to get to your destination. There is also another thing. A city is built and set upon a broad field and is full of all good things. And that city is representative of the kingdom of heaven. Listen to what it says. The entrance thereof is narrow and is set in a dangerous place to fall, like as if there were a fire on the right hand and on the left a deep water. And one only path between them both, even between the fire and the water, so small that there could but one man go there at once. The fire and the water represent tribulations and troubles and trials. You see, you're trying to get to the kingdom of heaven. On the one side, you got fire. On the other side, you got water. And only one path between them both. Let me go back to 7. So you're trying to get to this city. The entrance thereof is narrow and is set in a dangerous place to fall, like as if there were a fire on the right hand and on the left a deep water. And one only path between them both, even between the fire and the water, so small that there could but one man go there at once. If this city now were given unto a man for an inheritance, if he never shall pass the danger set before it, how shall he receive this inheritance? You see? So if you ain't willing to go through the trials and tribulations and the hell that you're going to get from coming into the truth, how you going to get to the kingdom? And I said, It is so, Lord. Then said he unto me, Even so also is Israel's portion. You see? And notice that the scripture said it's a path so small, only one man can go there at once, symbolizing that you are in this walk. and you got to take your own path. And I don't mean that to say you're going to take a dip, like your own path, like you're going to make the way. No, you got to go through your hell. I got to go through my hell. The next brother got to go through his hell. And you got to be adults about it. You can't think that when you start suffering, now you're going to try to find reasons it's the truth fault I'm suffering. No, it's not the truth's fault. Well, the thing is, you're going to suffer in the truth regardless. And you can't be looking for sympathizers, people to talk to. I need to talk to somebody about all the hell I'm going through. And don't get me wrong. You may, in the Most High may put in your path one sister, I'm talking to women now, one sister that you tight with. But it shouldn't be a thing when you go on social media and make a post and ask for fucking opinions, because you know what you're going to get? A bunch of opinions. And they're going to steer you wrong because they themselves don't know what the fuck is going on either. And the main thing I see and hear is that the majority of these Israelites are not born again. You're going to go through all kinds of hell in this truth. Now, this is a big thing I'm about to say here. And I just said it. The majority of you Israelites are not born again. You come into the truth and you think that everything will be perfect now that you're in the truth. You looking at the brothers that teach, you think they perfect. When you get married, you get in a situation, you think it's going to be perfect. You start looking and seeing men got faults, and then you start thinking these Hebrews, like they just like everybody else. They wicked. We just like everybody else. We're just like, and I don't mean to say it. We're not just like everybody else in the way that we live, but we're human beings. We don't have it perfect. We're not in the kingdom of heaven. We're learning as we go. You got to be able to give grace and leeway. This happens, and now I got to get on the women a little bit. This happens with these women. This is why, brothers, why you don't need to get involved with these women, especially when they're young, because they bring a lot of drama and a lot of baggage and a lot of emotion. By the end of the video, she was crying. And we're tough, but at the same time, we're not barbarians. This damn girl could be my damn daughter. To be honest, I got kids older than her. But at the end of the day, she's moving unadvised. Even if somebody had told her from the beginning, look out, don't hook up with this brother, or watch out for this right here, she gonna still do what she want to do anyway, because you people always think you know better than the men that the Lord set up to teach. And in her speech, I could hear a little bit of unbelief in certain stuff. This guy that they say was my husband. Well, what did the scripture say? That's a problem. You go against whenever you start having problems, you will go against the doctrine. A lot of you women do it. You start looking at it like, now you hooked up with a dude. Now I'm sure you was told from the beginning, when you hook up with this man, that's your husband. Now she says that they ain't no longer together. The guy that they said was her husband. You see what I'm saying? That undisciplined social media black woman thing starts creeping in, and you start fucking up. Now I can say the latest video, the one by the time the video got to the end and she was crying with the shirt on her head, that was a newer video than these other ones where she's saying all the stuff that she's saying. So maybe Yahweh Bahashim Yahushua gonna keep his hand on the girl because he revealed his name to her. Just maybe. But to show you how bugged out that the other Israelites are, and there's a lot of them. You had niggas all on the comment board saying Yahuwah, saying God, Jesus, all this stuff. Yah. Yeah, I had the same dream. You didn't have the same dream if you said the Most High name was Yah, you idiot. But see, this is the problem. Number one, again, there's no Hebrew Israelite community. There's no community. There's believers and there's unbelievers. Just because somebody say they're Israelite don't mean that they're on the same level as you. Don't even mean that they really even believe like you do. You have all made a big mistake. You watching all these groups. You doing all this carnality. You on social media. You won't stop talking. You telling everybody your business. This is also a reason why you don't need to have fringes on every damn thing. It really is a secret. I'm going to say it again. As Hebrew Israelites, a secret of life is better than being all brash and cocky and bold. There's a time to be bold. When we teach, that's time to be bold. In your personal life, shut the fuck up. Shut up. Shut up, shut up, shut up. That's great advice. But you're not going to listen. So then now we got to hear the other part. This is the reason why you're having all these issues. You don't see the Israelite women that follow GMS saying all of this. because their husbands are judging the household the right way. Now, I'm not saying ain't no wicked Israelite men. There's a lot of wicked Israelites. You know how we know? Because the scriptures tell us so. Let me read you one. Let's go to it. This is Zechariah 13, verse 8. To all new Israelites, to all aspiring Hebrew Israelites, you full of grace and truth. You got the truth. You're going to wear fringes on your clothes. You're going to do it up. Let me give you a word of advice. Or let me warn you. Pursuant to what I'm about to read to you right now, there are 2 times more wicked Israelites than those that are trying to be righteous. The elect is a small remnant compared to the vast numbers of those that will be destroyed. And you're going to run into a whole bunch of them while you're in the truth. While you on your road to salvation, you're going to run into a bunch of asshole Israelites. It don't mean that they're of the elect just because they put on fringes or they say, hey, shalom, sister. Shalom, what? That don't mean shit. And we told y'all that. This is how you wind up. When you in the truth, the best thing you can do, close your mouth. You got 1 mouth and 2 ears. Do twice as much listening as talking. This girl does twice as much talking than listening. This is part of a problem. She can receive it or not. You ought to snatch that damn channel down off of TikTok and go into damn seclusion and just listen to the prophets, which the prophets are who? The apostles of GMS and the brothers on down. You got a problem with that? We're gonna find out where you're gonna wind up. This is where you're gonna be. Cause now you got the name, you found out the truth, but you ain't having no success. Why? Because you're doing too much. You're doing too much, and you're not even heeding the advice. You still trying to follow. A lot of you jakes, you just trying to follow social media, and you enthralled in this Hebrew Israelite mysticism, like it's like a thing, like a fad and a trend, and it's not. You're not here to be heard, and if you're not a prophet of the Lord as a man, you ain't here to be heard. You're here to follow. You're here to serve, not be heard. And they taking the truth and made it just like everything else, and you expecting perfection, and you're not gonna get perfection on this side. It's not gonna happen. And you're going to run into a lot of wicked Israelites. Here it is. Zechariah 13, verse 8. And it shall come to pass that in all the land, saith the Lord, 2 parts therein shall be cut off and die. You hear that? Why are the 2/3 going to be cut off and die? Because they're wicked. They wasn't chosen and they're wicked. Or the fact that they're not chosen, that means they're wicked. But the 1/3 should be left therein. You see that? So 1/3. Only 1 out of every 3 Israelites in Babylon the Great is going to make it out of here alive. And I will bring the 3rd part through the fire and will refine them as silver is refined and will try them as gold is tried. They shall call on my name and I will hear them. I will say it is my people and they shall say the Lord, whose name is Yahweh, is my God. Now I'm going to give you this much hope. You got the inside track almost, because the majority of the Israelites they don't even say the name of the Lord as Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai. So you got that much. That lets me know you learned from a One West group. And you probably even been listening to GMS a little bit, but you haven't followed our advice. You haven't followed our example. You haven't followed, the instructions that we gave, and our sisters follow. They do what we tell them to do. But you know how we know? Because they're not doing this. And trust me, when this sister hear this, she going to be offended. You're going to be offended. But you know what? But you shouldn't know that you're offended, because you shouldn't have no damn videos. You shouldn't even be on the internet talking unless you're making videos about cooking or something. You don't have your head covered. You don't have any discipline at all. You're just blabbing all your business. Going on and on and on. Mouth just running. This video, one video is 3 different videos. I know more about you already, and I even today was the first time I came across your page. I should know all that about you, and there's more videos on your channel. You wondering why you having trouble? Because you have a problem closing your mouth. That's one of the main problems. One of the main problems. You can't close your mouth, and the scriptures tell you. And you again, you're expecting perfection. You different Israelites. You're expecting perfection, and you ain't gonna get no perfection. So much I want to say, but I don't need to be all that, Let me give you something else. Well, let's go to Micah 7. It's told even unto men that have wives not to even tell your wife everything. Do you think it would be a good idea as a woman to be flapping your mouth, bumping your gums? I mean, at the end of the day, you talk about people need advice and they go to the elders. You're not supposed to come to us. We're not in the kingdom. We're not in ancient Israel where everybody knew who the elders was. When you had a problem, you could go to them. Every man is governing his own house. If you got a dude that's wicked, you got to pray to your how shall to deal with that man. Now, at the end of the day, if it's some life and death shit, I suppose, I mean, we instructed our brothers. Look, this is the thing with us. If we find out a man is not, how do I want to say it? I don't even want to say that, because it's not like we don't want to know what goes on in another man's house. But you're trying to usurp authority. When you got a husband, you don't supposed to go over his head, be trying to go to other people to talk to them, tell them what's wrong. You got to talk to him. Tell him what's wrong. If he's a man of the Lord, he's going to consider what you're saying. The scriptures tell us, and it tells us everything to do. Men supposed to love their wives, period. If you a brother, you watching this video, if you got a wife, I ain't telling you to be no sucker, to be no simp. But you got to deal justly, because if you don't, Yahweh gonna destroy your ass, man. And when I say you got to deal justly, if you doing right or not. I'm talking about when you just deal with matters. I ain't trying to go into your personal life. I'm just telling you, man. You got to deal justly. If you're being a damn tyrant, the scriptures say, be not a lion in thy house. But at the same time, if you going to be with a woman, what did Paul say? Well, now we brought it up. 1 Corinthians 7. And verse 27. Art thou bound unto a wife? Seek not to be loosed. Art thou loose from a wife? Seek not the wife. The scriptures tell you, look, if you by yourself, and see with Jake now, we over-sexualized, overstimulated, ass and titties is everywhere, right? For the women, you looking at the man, you seeing what you seeing on TV, the way the men dress and behave, it's all sexual now. So I get it. But if you're a woman of the Lord and you don't have a husband, we know you want a husband. When the Most High gonna hook it up in time. If you're a man of the Lord and you don't have a wife, the Lord gonna hook it up in time. You don't have a lot of time to dedicate to chasing women or juggling women. But easy for me to say, I'm a little bit older than, a lot of y'all. Art thou bound unto a wife? Seek not to be loosed. If you married and it's good, don't try to mess it up. Art thou loose from a wife? Seek not the wife. You don't got a woman? Don't try to get one. Don't try to get all into that. But listen, and if thou marry, thou hast not sinned. And if a virgin marry, which is here is a woman of marriageable age, she hath not sinned. But if you decide to get in a relationship, you ain't committing no sin. Nevertheless, for both of you, the man and the woman, such shall have trouble in the flesh. Listen good. Relationships are trouble. Nevertheless, such shall have trouble in the flesh, but I spare you. Relationships are already trouble. And the truth is more trouble. It can be, it doesn't have to be, but it can be. If you're going to be in a relationship, you're going to have trouble. Why are you amazed that you in the truth? I'm a Hebrew Israelite. Why it's so hard? These people more wicked. It's right there. Hello, it's in the scriptures. What do you want us to tell you? And all that shit about you need advice and this and that. What do you want us to do? Something going on in your house. You and him get into it. Somebody intervenes. Guess what's going to happen? Y'all going to be right back together. And then the person that gave the judgment, y'all going to be looking at him sideways. Deal with your own life. We're not fucking life coaches. And we ain't marriage counselors. Deal with your own stuff. And at the end of the day, you know what to do. Shit. We don't advise that you go to Esau for shit. But if you get in a situation where you just can't work it out no other way, you got to do what you got to do. You're going to be over righteous and just stay in a relationship, the nigga beating your ass. Don't come to us and tell us he was beating your ass but then we didn't do nothing. What we supposed to do? What are we supposed to do? We supposed to get our ass whooped because you getting your ass whooped? You the one picked the nigga. Right? You got to do what you got to do. Ain't nobody going to stick their neck out to get in no altercation over your house. You got to do it. See ye to it. Okay? That's your thing. And I ain't telling you to go to Esau necessarily. Salakia. I ain't telling you to go to Esau. But I know one thing. If something go wrong in my life, I bet I know I can get some help at. I'll call my daddy or my brother or my cousin or some damn body to help me. Because I'm an Israelite, I'm going to wait on these people that I don't know to help me. Nah, you're being so heavenly minded, you're no earthly good. And at the end of the day, you're just being stupid. Whoever you are doing that. But you men out there, you got to get yourself under control. Don't be going off and trying to beat these damn women, man. It ain't that serious. If you can't get along with her, hey, what did Drake say? If I can't make it with you, I'll make it without. But if thou marry, thou hast not sinned. And if a virgin marry, she hath not sinned. Nevertheless, where's that line? Bars. Nevertheless, such shall have trouble in the flesh, but I spare you. But this I say, brethren, the time is short. It remaineth that both they that have wives be as though they had none. Really, your life is not all mixed up in your relationship. It shouldn't be. And by all means, you're never supposed to tell her everything. And if you ain't supposed to tell her everything, how then do you think it'd be cool for you to go and be talking to this brother, tell this brother what's going on? This brother got to get involved. He got to have a counselor to tell you what you should do in your house. Hell no. And it's twice as much for women. You have no business going taking what you going through. Tell this sister she got to give you her opinion. Another sister got to give her opinion. And by all means, don't make a post and put it on social media. It's not the world's attention. And all this shit is being watched. Do you not know that? You know? And I'm not even going to really deal with much of what she said anymore. If you can handle the advice, or I don't even want to say advice, you can handle the sort of talking to, rebuke, like a talking to from a big brother, great. If you can't, hey, you can figure it out. You got to be able to see through some of this stuff. Micah 7:5. Trust ye not in a friend, put ye not confidence in a guide. Keep the doors of thy mouth from her that lieth in thy bosom. For the brothers, some advice from the scriptures. Don't be telling her everything that you're doing. A lot of these dudes, and this is mostly the ones that don't even teach. A lot of side Israelites, they so fucking proud. I guess the word is proud. Is it excited? We all excited that we Israelites. But the excitement can either do one or two things. The excitement can turn you into a productive member, right, of the men of the Lord, or it can turn your ass into a bug out or a busybody, or you a mouth breather, a Hebrew Israelite, social media drama demon. That's what it can turn you into. You all over social media with fringes on every damn thing, with swords and shurikens and ninja stars and goddamn samurai. So what are you doing? The women all over social media taking selfies and got lipstick and lip gloss, their hair done, different glasses, dresses, all that. I mean, just all kinds of stuff. Why you doing all that? You start taking, you turn out, you find out you an Israelite, then you flip that into the new flex. Hey, Hebrew Israelite flex. Why can't you just be quiet? All of you, the men as well as the women. Why can't you just be quiet? Be excited and wait and hope patiently and quietly for the Lord to come back. Why can't you do that? You're making yourself, and that's what I want to say to the women. You're making these videos. Do you know that when you put a video on the internet and you got a channel, you make yourself an unnecessary target? You don't need to be. Men gonna come at you. They're gonna say stuff. People gonna criticize you. That's what they're gonna do. And some of you literally care about the opinions coming from those on the other side of that camera. Somebody like me, I don't hardly give a fuck. If you come on the comment board and cuss me out, you might say something about my head. You might say something about me, about my beard. I don't give a fuck. If you ain't offering a scripture, I'ma block your ass. And I don't feel no kind of way about it. Ain't nobody gonna even feel you scared, you a cow, yup, all that. Block, you blocked. You get one chance to insult me, to say this, to say that. Not because I'm small, but because I don't fucking have time for it. And you gotta be the same way. Brothers out there, you ain't gotta take insults. They may say it, and you won't forget that they said it, but you don't have to hear it again. You gotta fight with the weapons that you got. The main weapon you got when you're on social media is the block button. As long as you let niggas talk shit, they're gonna talk shit. Trust ye not in a friend, put ye not confidence in a guide. Keep the doors of thy mouth from her that lieth in thy bosom. Don't tell the woman everything. For the son dishonoreth the father, the daughter rises up against her mother, the daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. Listen, a man's enemies are the men of his own house. And you know Yahushua said he didn't come to bring peace but a sword. He came to set a man at variance. And it's the same way in the scriptures. It's in Matthew 24 that men shall betray one another and hate one another. And when we get really down to the nitty gritty, some going to be turning individuals in, people that you didn't think would do that. That's why it's better to keep your mouth closed, keep your business to yourself. These people in the truth, they don't know you. These other people. These people out there on social media, you keep reaching out to, you want to talk to, you need help, want advice. You don't know who they are. They could be agents, spies. Here you are just going on and on. You got to get off social media. You got to get off of it. If you're a woman, you got to protect yourself. Don't be on this fucking thing. And finally, I'm going to read this last scripture and I'm going to shut it down. This is 1 Timothy chapter 5, and I'm going to read the NLT version. Now, if you look at the top, advice about widows, elders, and it says slaves. But of course, come on. Here we go. And it's going to tell you about women, older women and younger women. Look at how the scriptures talk. Never speak harshly to an older man, but appeal to him respectfully as you would to your own father. Talk to younger men as you would to your own brothers. You heard it? Now the scriptures say rebuke not an elder, I believe. Let me see here. Yeah. KJV. Rebuke not an elder, but entreat him as a father, and the younger men as brethren. Treat older women as you would your mother, and treat younger women with all purity as you would your own sisters. Now, me personally, if one of my sisters got out of line, I cuss her out. That's me. That might not be your way. And the truth, we ain't gonna proceed that way, but every now and again, a sister might get out of line. You might have to straighten her ass out. But that's just what it is. Verse 3, take care of any widow who has no one else to care for her. But if she has children or grandchildren, their first responsibility is to show godliness at home and repay their parents by taking care of them. This is something that pleases the Most High. Now, a true widow, a woman who is truly alone in this world, has placed her hope in the Most High. She prays night and day, asking the Most High for help. Now, there's two kinds of widows. There's the woman that had a husband and he died. Then there's a woman that's unmarried, right? It goes on. But the widow who lives only for pleasure is spiritually dead even while she lives. And that's a lot of you women out there now. Give these instructions to the church so that no one will be open to criticism. Excuse me. But those who won't care for their relatives, especially those in their own household, have denied the true faith. Such people are worse than unbelievers. A widow who is put on the list for support must be a woman who is at least 60 years old and was faithful to her husband. Now, obviously, we don't have a setup like that. Does GMS have a congregation? We we have a congregation, right? Because you got the brothers that teach and preach. You got the sisters that watch, the brothers that watch all the time. You ones that we know that watch all the time. If you needed help with something, I'm sure arrangements can be made. Brothers gonna, do what they can do. For example, let's say you live in, I'm just throw a state out there. I'll say you live in Alaska, right? I'll say Alaska. No, let's say you live in New Hampshire, because I don't know if no camp up there. and no brothers. But if you lived in New Hampshire and you watched the videos and you needed help with something, like you was homeless, we would, if you reached out and said you homeless, we'd tell the brothers in New Hampshire to check the situation out, right? If we know you, I'm saying we got to know you. You can't just be some bug out there pop up asking for money. That's just an example. Going on. A widow who was put, now we don't got nobody put on the list for support. Okay? Matter of fact, I should read the KJV version of that. Let's do that. Let not a widow be taken into the number under 80 years old, having been the wife of one man, which is really talking about, being part of the congregation. Okay? It says she must be well respected by everyone because of the good she has done. Has she brought up her children well? Has she been kind to strangers and served other believers humbly? Has she helped those who are in trouble? Has she always been ready to do good? Now, this is another thought I just had. GMS is not a congregation where you going to know, like you going to come. And I warned against this years ago because I know the type. Normally, women, when they come into the truth or they find out about the truth, they're looking for a place to go to fellowship. They use the word fellowship. This is where they can be seen. They can show their new pretty dress. They can show their outfits. They can be seen and they can socialize. This is what you want. But when you do that, you open yourself up for scrutiny, criticism, attacks. It's just like when you make videos. You don't need to have that. I warned, not just me, I don't mean to say me like that. We have warned against that type of shit. The apostles don't want to meet nobody's wife. They don't want you bringing your woman around. And neither do we brothers. Because you going to see, brothers don't want to have that pressure of your woman coming around. Now I got to look down at the ground. It's hard, But so many of you Israelites, you thirst and crave attention and you want to be part of something. Just believing in the Lord don't feel like you in the truth. You need an outward thing. You need a place to go to. You need music and to have fun and laugh and, get together, have picnics and all white affairs. Fuck all that. You ain't here for none of that shit. See, that's why a lot of people don't like GMS, because we keep it to the bare minimum. You supposed to preach the word, teach the word. You women, you sisters, you listen, you study, you apply it in your life, and you take care of your house. You take care of your husband and your kids. And if by chance, while being in the truth, you and a certain sister or a couple of sisters having to have a bond, that's beautiful. If the sisters of the men in the camp, if they, say if 10 brothers in the camp and 5 of them got wives, right? And their wives get along great and they decide that they want to have a picnic or they want to have a party or they want to have dinner together and they can invite the other brother, that's fine. But we don't, as a whole, there ain't no, that's Sister Lisa. Sister Lisa's the mother over all the camp. No. That's where the confusion comes in. And a lot of you are doing that. And that's what a lot of you look for. That's the shit gonna fuck you up. You're too busy worrying about all of that kind of shit. And you think that's part of the truth. See, we got a fellowship. You can close your mouth. You can close, because I need stuff every day. If you my wife, I need stuff every day. I need dinner. I need clothes washed. I need my dishes done. You ain't got time to be worrying about what everybody else doing. Take care of me and our house. If you can't do that, then that's a problem. And you gotta, that's your duties as a wife. Take care of your own damn house. All that damn gossiping. Let's read some more. She must be well respected by everyone because of the good she has done. Has she brought up her children well? Has she been kind to strangers and served other believers humbly? Has she helped those who are in trouble? Has she always been ready to do good? Listen, the younger widows, these are the women under 60. The younger widows should not be on the list, or I don't like that wording. That's a bad translation. But the younger widows refuse, for when they have begun to wax wanton against the anointed, they will marry. Listen to this. The younger widows should not be on the list because their physical desires will overpower their devotion to the Hamashiach, and they will want to remarry. Then they would be guilty of breaking their previous pledge. And you got to take it with a grain of salt. It's not exactly like your situation now. What did it mean when you say remarried? This is a woman that had a husband and they divorced? No. Just listen to what it's saying. Don't try to, add all that other stuff. Then they will be guilty of breaking their previous pledge. And if they are on the list, they will learn to be lazy and will spend their time gossiping from house to house, meddling in other people's business and talking about things they shouldn't. See, these things are frowned down upon. Right? Matter of fact, so I advise the younger widows to marry again, have children, and take care of their own homes. Now, this is if your husband died, right? Or you don't have a husband. It shouldn't say again. Let's go to the KJV for this part. Verse 11. But the younger widows refuse. When they have begun to wax wanton against the anointed, they will marry, having damnation, because they have cast off their first faith. And withal, they learn to be idle, wandering about from house to house, and not only idle, but tattlers also, and busybodies, speaking things which they ought not. I will therefore that the younger women marry, bear children, guide the house, give none occasion to the adversary to speak reproachfully. Which means what? Shut up, and stop doing so much. Take care of your house. For some are already turned aside after Satan. There you go. If you can take that advice, that's what you need to be doing. And right now, I don't know. I mean, like I said, I don't mean to say nothing, messed up towards this. I want to call her a girl, but she's a young woman. I don't want to say nothing against you, young lady. But this is the thing. You got to get off social media and close your mouth by all means. You don't need to be heard all that much. You got nothing to say. That don't mean you don't have feelings. But whatever man you're dealing with, tell him. And even then, if that man a man of the Lord, he ain't got time to sit there and see. That's the problem. She's idle. She doesn't have enough to do. So obviously she need more to do. Whatever dude dealing with this girl, this woman, give her some shit to do. Every man know how you got to deal with your woman. If this was a woman that, I won't even say, I won't put myself in it, but she needs something to do. Make some garments, right? Sew something, cook something, take up cooking. You worry about way too much other shit. Where your recipes at? Can you make sweet potato bread? Can you do something? Make some cakes. Do some shit. You need to do something with yourself other than be on social media running your mouth. That's it, brothers. And, and she got a little bit of the Hebrew Israelite social media drama demon. Beware of it, because it's out there. This social media shit, it's just a means to an end. We have to be on social media to push out the videos, but other than that, this shit ain't nothing to us. I can't wait till we don't need these fucking phones no more or none of this shit. It is what it is. All praise to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. Shalom.